Hello, my name is Justin Decloux, and I'm here today with
Will Sloan.
And you're listening to the Important Cinema Club. And today, we're talking about Adam Sandler.
You know, in the movie Chinatown, Jack Nicholson says to John Huston that he's respectable. And John Huston replies, and I quote, "Of course I'm respectable. I'm old. Politicians, ugly buildings, and whores all get respectable if they last long enough." Now, I would like to say that and also make note of a recent softening in the critical response to Adam Sandler's films.
A hated figure by critics.
When we were growing up, in the 90s, the 2000s, all the way into the mid-2010s, Adam Sandler, among like movie critics, was public enemy number one. And in more recent years, I think he's fully ascended to the status of like living legend. He's a beloved figure. Even people who don't like the movies
Can appreciate him.
Yeah. You know, I saw Adam Naiman tweet recently on Twitter. It's not called Twitter anymore. They're not called tweets anymore. But he said, watched the SNL 50th anniversary special. It's amazing how much gravitas Sandler has accrued at this point. Got me wondering if Sandler has turned out to be the actual best movie actor who is also ever a full-time cast member. It's in play at least. So I'd like to just raise that as a possibility.
Yes.
Because you're probably thinking...
Undoubtedly.
Well, because the other names who you might think of are...
Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, yes.
Those are the other three contenders.
That's a good question.
What's Eddie Murphy done for you lately?
Nothing.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done anything for me lately in a long time.
What's Bill Murray done for you lately?
Nothing. Well, he's doing a lot of things that he's done his entire career, but...
And Dan Aykroyd, Crystal Skull Vodka, you know, is putting me to sleep at night.
Now, who do I love more? Definitely Dan Aykroyd. Who's made me laugh more? Aykroyd.
And number one, Chevy Chase.
Yeah, Chevy Chase.
The god. But no, Adam Sandler, I didn't particularly grow up with Adam Sandler, although I say that he was
everywhere.
He was
when you
one
grew
of
up.
the most omnipresent entertainers of my life.
A long time ago, you said that you didn't watch Adam Sandler films back in the 90s because I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something along the lines of, those are the films that the bullies would watch.
Did I say that?
Yeah, it was something like that, yes.
Well, I think there's some truth to that.
I absolutely agree with you, especially watching the movies this week.
Okay.
Now, my Adam Sandler love, when I was a kid, began and ended with Happy Gilmore. I saw the other movies. I was very excited to see them when they came out. Never became favorites, to the point that even films like The Waterboy, when I saw it, and that one became a huge playground favorite. I'm just going to say, the kids who watched it maybe took the wrong lessons from that film.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not just hallucinating this.
No.
I did get the sense that it was a certain kind of kid who really liked Adam Sandler.
Yes, and this is not a value judgment on the person listening to this if you loved Adam Sandler back in the day.
Well, because everyone liked Adam Sandler.
Everybody liked Adam Sandler. But there was a specific flavor.
So for personal reasons, that probably turned me off Sandler a little bit. And I'm not alone, because when you look at the reviews of Adam Sandler movies...
who writes reviews?
People who were bullied in high school.
Yes.
Because, like, I don't know, it's just interesting. The Waterboy, which I watched again this week for the first time in 25 years.
And for the record, I was not bullied in high school. I was very lucky.
I was also not bullied in high school.
Yes, but
there were kids I wasn't crazy about. Anyway, critical reception that greeted The Waterboy was, like, so vicious. And I watched it this week, and it's like, this is the most normal movie ever made.
Yeah. If anything, it's even like calmer than many Sandler films that were coming out. We'll get to it, but I think that like Big Daddy is a little bit like more unhinged in what the Waterboy is doing.
I think so,
because the Waterboy is coming from a very particular place, a Jerry Lewis-like place, if you will, from Adam Sandler, who really what he loves to do is funny voices of simple men.
That's right.
That's his favorite thing in the world.
So in recent years, Adam Sandler has become this beloved pop culture figure, really. I mean, he's always been beloved to millions of moviegoers, but in recent years, he has achieved, well, it's like Adam Naiman was saying. It's like on the SNL 50th anniversary special, when he comes out and does his song, he comes across almost as this like godfather of the whole franchise. On the Netflix stand-up special he did, where he does the song about Chris Farley, you know, he's more than just the silly man who does the voices.
I think one of the big important parts of Adam Sandler's legacy now is that people see him as a friendly person.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy is not seen as a friendly person.
That's true.
Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, he's drunk at a screening.
He's strange.
Yeah, but that's it. But I don't think people see him as friendly in particular.
Well, something very important happened in the way that I think Adam Sandler's movies, but particularly his Netflix movies, are viewed. In the mid-2010s or the early 2010s, do you remember Red Letter Media went super viral with that video about Jack and Jill, I think it was, or one of them, where they made this case that his movies are basically these like money laundering schemes. It's like Adam Sandler gets $20 million. All his failed SNL buddies get like $1 million each, and they load them with product placement, and they all cost $80 million or something insane. And you, the ticket buyers, are paying the price for this.
Here's the thing about that is, and I'm going to come from the perspective of someone that does not like Jack and Jill. Something that me and Matt Farley have politely argued about because he loves Jack and Jill.
Sure.
And you know what? I can look at Jack and Jill and I can understand why you would like it. That film is so weird. And it's so from a particular perspective of the people making it. If they're pulling something off on the audience, they have a big grin on their face and they're happy to do it. It is not a scam in the way that you meet a con man and it gets one over on you.
I also think that something that's changed is, so a movie like Grown Ups or Grown Ups 2, it used to be derisively dismissed as like, oh, this is just an excuse for Adam Sandler to have a vacation.
Yes.
But at some point, a lot of people started to look at these movies and are like, yeah, and we're in on the vacation.
Exactly. That they're like, it's nice to see my friends have a vacation.
So Uncut Gems, the critical praise, the audience praise that he got for that movie, where he sort of reaffirmed that he can be as great an actor as anyone and work as hard as anyone. And then that was followed not too long after by Hubie Halloween, an almost perfect pandemic movie. And then I remember seeing, Hubie Halloween, which is half-assed and I think the right way.
Yes, I think so too.
And I remember when somebody takes off their mask and it's Rob Schneider. And I remember thinking, isn't that sweet? Rob's back. The whole gang.
Batman Rob Schneider.
I'm not a fan.
No. But you were happy to see him.
Well, because it's almost like, it's a family reunion. And you look at the cast of any of these later Sandler movies and it's like some of the biggest stars in the world are in them.
John Lovitz.
Yeah, John Lovitz is in it. Some of the most faded SNL guys. People like Vanilla Ice are in it.
And like Sandler, and
everyone's invited.
Yeah, one of his notorial things, like he revels in the idea of having someone who is not an actor have a major role in his movie. Vanilla Ice is a supporting character.
like Tony Orlando is in several of these movies, and that's madness. But there's an ethos in some of these later ones in particular where it's like, I'm having a barbecue. Everyone come out. I'm the host. And for a guy who
at the same time, he can do great work as well.
Yes.
So I think
he does sometimes.
Yes. And this is the thing about Adam Sandler is he can phone it in like nobody's business. Those grown-up movies, they may have just like stuck a like pole in his back and he's just on screen barely delivering his lines.
So crucially also compared to Eddie Murphy, who's the other king of streaming these days. Eddie Murphy never makes good movies.
No.
Except for Dolomite.
Yep. That's the only one. And he didn't win an award and he's like, all right, I give up.
Yeah. And he doesn't try.
No.
Eddie Murphy can still be one of the funniest guys in the world, and he doesn't
if
work
he
out.
wanted to. When he was on that Dolomite high, you're like, Eddie Murphy is back,
when he hosted SNL, he was funny.
Exactly. Yep. So he still got it, but he doesn't feel the need to deign the people with his gifts.
But what I'll also say about Sandler's later movies is I feel like they're also movies he likes. I think
absolutely. I think that's very important.
His sense of humor from the beginning has always been kind of basic. He likes silly voices. If you see a fat guy in the movie, the fat guy's going to fall down.
Yep.
At his worst, it can be a little low-hanging fruit. It can be a little like
cruel.
Yeah, like gay jokes about women, that sort of thing. But, he likes simple, direct hits to the funny bone. And on Saturday Night Live, where I think he was very funny.
Never saw him on Saturday Night Live.
Well, his comedy is so basic there that it almost becomes this like ironic deconstruction of sketch comedy, like when he's Opera Man or when he's Cajun Man. These really, really simple characters.
Yes.
So those critics in the 90s, those newspaper critics, somebody like Jim Carrey eventually earned their grudging respect because he was so obviously virtuosic. But Adam Sandler is an affable guy who likes to make silly voices and who likes to have all his friends around. And if you're a 55-year-old newspaper critic who looks at Adam Sandler as like this slacker boy.
Yeah.
This boy.
Barely making an effort.
This is the kind of slacker boy that my son shouldn't become.
Exactly.
His charms will be invisible to you.
And now let's reverse. Because this episode, we watched 4 movies. None of them dipping into the 2000s.
Yeah, we wanted to go back to the
Because I think that
to the origin.
Every time people talk about Adam Sandler, you can't help but folding in his dramatic roles. We all remember Reign Over Me.
Yeah.
Click.
Men, Women, and Children.
Yep. Men, Women, and Children. And his Netflix films. I think that people think of that, and then Uncut Gems, of course.
And by the way, Netflix, boy, did he see the future with that.
Yeah.
Because I remember when he signed that Netflix contract, I remember thinking, boy, there's a star in decline. But no.
Biggest thing on Netflix.
Because he makes movies that people like to watch on Netflix.
Yeah.
Really, really lazy movies, you know?
There's so many of them.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, that exists? The one where Chris Rock and Adam Sandler are dads that help put a wedding together?
The one with...
Sounds like a mystery
The one
movie.
with David Spade where they're...
The Do-Over.
Like, yeah.
Where Adam Sandler's a super spy.
Yeah.
Films that don't seem like they exist.
But they do.
And millions of people have watched
they
them.
wallpaper the lives of people, and people love them. So he saw the future.
Do they love them? That's a good question. Or do they like them?
Well, I know some people who love Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, I love Hubie Halloween.
People love him.
Yeah.
And is there a difference at a certain point?
I think there is. Because those other movies, I'm not... Yeah.
Okay, but before we get to the older stuff, I just want to say something about Happy Gilmore 2, which I haven't seen.
Okay.
I just love that, here he makes this movie. It's the 30 years later, long-awaited sequel to one of his most beloved films, has as much effort as any of the other movies he makes.
Yep, I would agree.
Doesn't try any more or less.
Nope, he doesn't. But let's go back. Back, not too back, because we're not talking about the Adam Rifkin written Going Overboard that Adam Sandler started in.
No, we want the beginning of Adam Sandler Superstar. We're also not talking about Bulletproof.
No.
We're not talking about Shakes the Clown.
Nope,
which he has
that's for our Bobcat episode.
Surprisingly large role in.
Mm-hmm. We are talking about, by his own accord, when he accepts the Independent Spirit Award, my first movie, Billy Madison.
That's right. So this one was directed by Tamara Davis, who made Half-Baked, CB4, and the Britney Spears vehicle Crossroads. Never again worked with Adam Sandler. 1995. This movie, to place it in its historical context, it was a part of a wave of Saturday Night Live affiliated movies that emerged from the success of Wayne's World. Adam Sandler is at this point one of the leading lights of a cast that every middle-aged writer and culture critic hates. The middle-aged culture critics hate Chris Farley and David Spade and all the bad boys of SNL. I had never seen Billy Madison before. Can you believe that?
I had seen Billy Madison. I'd watched it with my wife when we first started dating. I must have seen it before, but it must have left no impact on me at the time. Mm-hmm. This really shows availability of movies when I was a kid. Like, I had Happy Gilmore on VHS. Don't know how I got Happy Gilmore on VHS, but I had it, so I watched it all the time.
Yeah.
And so I sat down and watched Billy Madison again. Last time, left me a little cold. This time, I was like, all right, I'm primed. I'm ready to laugh. I'm in a better mood. I'm more open to Sandler. And yeah, well, I'll get to what I thought of it as it played.
So still left you a little cold. Okay.
I would say I probably liked it less than I did the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went into this with no particular expectations, but hoping to love it.
Yes.
Because also, there are so many critically dismissed comedies of the 90s and the 2000s.
But this one was a huge hit when it came
Well,
out.
it made $25 million.
Oh, I thought it was a huge... Okay, so not a huge hit.
It was,
Happy Gilmore was.
Happy Gilmore wasn't even that huge hit.
Really?
It made $35 million.
Huh.
Then The Wedding Singer made 80, and then The Waterboy
made $250 million.
Insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Billy Madison made enough.
Billy Madison was a huge VHS hit.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like every kid was watching it and quoting it.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those like kind of surreal experiences when I was watching it and I was like, this is the movie that people were quoting?
No, I completely understand why they
No, I understood it as well. But I mean like I was watching it and my lovely wife, Emily, was like, I know every line from this movie by heart. Like, I've watched it so many times. And by the end, she was like, I think this shaped my sense of comedy in a negative way.
So the plot of Billy Madison is the title character is a young heir. He's a goofy boy, basically, a man-child. When we meet him, he's lounging around at the pool of his very, very, very rich father's estate. He's hanging around with two of his buddies. One of them's played by Norm Macdonald. The other's played by another guy whose name escapes me right now. Norm Macdonald and the other guy have nothing particular to do in the film.
Every time Norm Macdonald opened my mouth, I was like, I'm glad Norm's here.
Oh, yeah. I'm always happy to see him. And I was reminded that he's not much of an actor.
No,
by his own admission.
He would say that, but yeah, by his own admission.
And in the early scenes, it raises one of, I think, the movie's key questions, which is exactly what's wrong with Billy. Is he...
Because at first I'm like... oh, is he? And I don't think Adam thought, we're good friends. I can call him
Adam,
for first
the
name.
Sandman.
I don't think he thought about that very much. I think he just thought, what would be the funniest thing for me to do in this scene? And that's the entire, through line of the film. Watching Billy Madison, I kept going back. I was like, okay, why do I like Happy Gilmore, but I don't like Billy Madison? And I think that's something from the get-go that I would have never clocked if I saw this movie as a kid, is that the Billy Madison character sucks. I hate him.
Okay. Well, put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Early on, we see him cavorting around the mansion.
Yeah.
He's very silly. He hallucinates a big penguin, and I'm not quite sure why he hallucinates the penguin. But
He has a brain tumor. He's going to die by the end of the movie.
that's got to be it. There's a scene which I didn't even need anyone to tell me this. I just knew it was iconic when I saw it, where he's in a bathtub and he's got his shampoo and his conditioner.
Okay.
Mr. Shampoo fight, Mr. Conditioner.
My wife was quoting this scene as it was happening, and it ended, and I was like, what was the joke?
So this happens 3 minutes into the film.
Yeah. And you know what? This is a thesis statement of the entire film.
This is it. And I knew this when I saw it. I was like, do you find this funny?
Yes.
Because if you do,
you're going to love the rest of the movie.
Yeah. And I found it not for me.
Yes, this is what I'll say. I'm not going to come out here and poo-poo. You don't need to write a message just like, these idiots don't get Billy Madison. It's fine. It wasn't making me laugh but at the end of the day.
No, it didn't make me laugh either, but it's like, I saw that scene with him in the shampoo and the conditioner, and I'm like, okay, there is a wavelength that you got to get onto here, a very specific wavelength. You got to be like, and especially if you saw this movie when you were 5 years old, then I would have loved this scene.
It's like the idea of what a child thinks is funny.
Yeah.
Is that Billy Madison as a character, the only conflict, if he fails in this movie, does not matter at all. Right. His dad is like, listen, I'm going to make this other guy the boss of the company, played by Mr. Westwood
Bradley Whitford,
who I think is very funny in this
He's very
movie.
funny, yeah.
And he's like, I paid through your high school and college. You didn't really graduate. And then Adam Sandler's character is like, okay, what if I graduate every grade, one grade every 2 weeks? Will you give me the company then? And he's
great kindergarten to grade 12.
Yeah. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, that's it. He's like, what if I fail?
Well, and
nothing.
And obviously, you could poke holes in the logic of this all day of like, why only 2 weeks each?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Point is, Billy Madison is going to class, and of all of Adam Sandler's characters, this is the one who's the least kind of coherent. He's the most sort of Jerry Lewisian in his lack of a center.
This is probably the most Jerry Lewis in its structure and just the way it feels. And
Sandler loved Jerry Lewis. He grew up with him.
He's talked about it?
Yeah. So I'm sure he's a key influence on this.
And the surrealness of many scenes as well.
The non-logic of it. Yeah, the fact that like Billy Madison in one scene, he's kind of smart. In the next scene, he's not smart at all.
He'll just speak like a normal man in the next scene. It looks like he has like brain damage.
Yeah. He's like feral at times.
But as a kid's movie, like Billy Madison gets a party thrown for him every 2 weeks. Like, this is dream stuff.
Oh yeah, I wish I saw this when I was like 6 years old.
I was literally like a 50-year-old film critic watching this when the year came out. Just no smile on my face.
But you seem to hate Billy Madison as a guy.
I think he's very cruel in the movie to other kids that he meets.
Right. Well, I think we'll probably come back to this because that was an objection that certain critics at the time had.
But I was very kind of honed in on that as I watched these 3 films, and it's like, this is something that was thrown against like you mentioned, Adam Sandler, is that it was a like cinema of cruelty. Of like, the joke was, look at these kind of like disgusting pieces of shit a lot of the time.
Right. And
but maybe he'll learn his lesson right at the end.
Right. And the people who don't like his movies often say he's a bit of an overdog. He's making fun of the less fortunate.
I mean, in this movie, he's definitely an overdog.
Yeah. I'll say I had a good enough time watching Billy Madison. I didn't laugh a lot either, but it's like I was sort of tickled by the strangeness of it. I think it's very different than a lot of his later movies.
It gets real into big territory where I'm like, this adult woman should not be having sex with Billy Madison.
He's an adult.
Yeah, and you know what? He passes all of his tests, so he's fine.
That's right.
Again, the reality of this is a little bit problematic.
As we know, he's sexually precocious because he's getting his porno magazines delivered.
That's right.
To the house.
That is such a Jerry Lewis gag.
Yeah, it is.
Those porno mags that he gets in the mail.
So why don't we just move on to Happy Gilmore, which came out the next year, and which I think is each movie gets increasingly more normal.
Yeah. What? The Waterboy.
Well, okay, we'll get to it.
The Waterboy is him taking Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and fusing them together into one.
Absolutely.
All right, so Happy Gilmore, this is like...
We don't have to summarize the plot, do we? It's
but like
the golf movie.
But this is like normal Adam Sandler. In the sense that he has a normal voice, he gets angry.
And actually, this feels more than Billy Madison, it feels like the kind of base from which all the rest of Adam Sandler's films emerge from. You know?
He's an angry man. Watching it this time, I was like, I think maybe he's a little too angry at times.
As Roger Ebert begins his negative review, he writes, Happy Gilmore tells the story of a violent sociopath. Since it's about golf, that makes it a comedy. Now, Roger Ebert was saying that derisively, but I think there are many funny things in this movie, and it is precisely because of that.
That's why it's funny.
Right,
Yes.
right. He got it.
Now, if you open it up culturally and you're like, but what does this mean if this movie becomes popular, becomes an imitatable act? And to that I say, I don't care.
I don't care. I don't
care at all. Yeah.
Because that does recur in some of the Ebert reviews too. Like he'll be like, "Oh, is this a bad influence on the kids?"
You know what's a bad influence? The Three Stooges as well. Jerry Lewis.
And yet we both kind of didn't like those bullies at school who liked Adam Sandler so much.
Now, are there, kids back in the day that are like, the bullies watched the Three Stooges and then forced us into these humiliating physical acts?
Listen, I don't like plane crashes, but I'm not going to piss on the Wright brothers' grave.
Wow. The intellectual over here with his bon mots. So Happy Gilmore, I hadn't watched it in a long time. I think it's fun. I think it's exactly what it had to be.
Well, okay, here's some trivia. This, at the 1996 MTV Movie Awards, won Best Fight. It beat Jackie Chan versus the Bad Guys in Rumble in the Bronx.
I agree.
I also probably would have voted for Happy Gilmore.
Yes, I think it's a funnier fight.
It's a different kind of fight.
Yeah.
This is classic vintage Sandler material to this day. Take an unlikely celebrity, an unlikely novelty celebrity, not necessarily known for their film work, and have them do something very silly.
Bob Barker. I was watching it today and I was laughing. I was like, man, he commits in this movie.
He
like
sure
the lines.
does. Yeah.
And he's not afraid of making himself look mean either.
But I think in talking about Happy Gilmore, I'd really like to get at the alchemy of Adam Sandler as a screen presence. So do you like Adam Sandler in this movie? Do you like him?
That's a good question watching it this time. That I was like, I do like him in this movie.
Why?
So he is in this movie an underdog, that he wants something that he cannot have. And he's also fighting for something that I understand emotionally.
He wants to save his grandmother's house.
And something very important in this movie is there's a bad guy in the film, which not a lot of Adam Sandler films have.
And a really detestable bad guy played by
Christopher McDonald.
Who's great.
Who's so good in this movie. Every line he delivers, he eats up.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that, the supporting cast of this movie is very important to Happy Gilmore. Like you said in your review, couldn't have Richard Kiel become a normal guy?
Richard Kiel should have been one of the grown-ups.
He can barely walk in this movie.
That's fine.
But the lines he delivers in this movie in his 3 scenes, very funny. I was laughing.
Yeah, there are funny people all over. I mean, Joe Flaherty's in it. Kevin Nealon has a good moment.
Oh yeah, Kevin Nealon has a really funny moment in this movie.
There are others that I'm forgetting now.
And so I think it's that mixture. And this is not a film. I may have missed it, but it's not cruel like some of the other Adam Sandler films are, other than towards golf.
It has that kind of basic class resentment sort of stuff.
Yes.
Like Caddyshack, it's all about, or I don't know, A Night at the Opera. You know, it's like what if a goofball got to be in this hoity-toity establishment, which works.
And I think that's something that, and there's more kind of on paper, this is not just Adam Sandler delivering the line funny, which makes it like Billy Madison, and it's just the jokes that make me laugh, whether it be him hitting the balls with, I think Will Sasso is the other guy, and he breaks a window, then he hits a guy in the head, then he hits a woman at a window and she rolls off and falls off the house. That's funny.
I think also Adam Sandler is interesting as a character, as a screen presence, because of that mix of he's very affable a lot of the times here,
but he can get angry.
Yeah, and he gets extremely angry.
Is that something that's still part of his persona that people associate with him now?
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, Uncut Gems. Yes, that's the one. But I don't think that's the well he goes back to very often now.
He's much more relaxed on screen these days in all of his movies.
But in Happy Gilmore, he's go to your home. Don't you want to go home?
That's the stuff the kids would quote on the schoolyard.
100%.
Him yelling.
And I mean, Carl Weathers is really funny in this
how
movie.
could I forget Carl Weathers? He's so good.
But I think of even the surrealness in this film, I think it works like the dream sequences he has, that final shot of him looking up to the sky and it's Abraham Lincoln, Carl Weathers, and the crocodile or alligator waving to him. Like that stuff is funny, and because it's grounded in an underdog sports story, it has a structure to hang on to.
Yeah, and lest we forget, Adam Sandler basically like stole the spot that Pauly Shore had before this.
Yes.
And who would you rather watch?
Well, the thing about Pauly Shore is there's never any warmth to his characters, or there's never any feeling. He's just a sad weirdo.
He's on all the time. He's constantly outrageous. Whereas, there is, one of Sandler's kind of appealing qualities is the fact that like he's a funny guy who doesn't always feel the need to be funny, like Eddie Murphy actually. He's confident in himself on screen.
All right, so let's move on to The Waterboy. And this one, I remember when I saw it as a kid, baffled me in its success.
And by the way, I'm sorry, we are skipping The Wedding Singer.
Yes, it's good.
It's, you are seen, you are heard, The Wedding Singer.
People love The Wedding Singer.
And
some people would say that making Adam Sandler as a household teddy bear-like figure, The Wedding Singer is very important.
It was very important making him like a romantic lead, making him more than just like the silly boy from SNL.
But I think after The Wedding Singer, there was a rubber band effect, and Adam Sandler was like, I need to go back to my roots. I need to do a funny voice.
Well, you're right that this is like Billy Madison meets Happy Gilmore, because first of all, I think this movie is much softer than both of them.
I think there's less jokes in it as well.
Well, that really surprised me watching it. This movie has one primary joke, which is that Adam Sandler talks in that voice.
Yes. And I'm gonna put my cards right on the table. I do not like Adam Sandler doing voices, really. I don't find it that funny. Well, but did I have a fun time with The Waterboy? I did.
So Roger Ebert would agree with you. He also doesn't like it, or didn't like it. Rest in peace. And this is very, I think, critical of do you like him or not.
But I do like Hubie Halloween as well. So I think what the thing is that his character, but I don't like him doing voice in Billy Madison, is that they basically need to be the simple underdogs in the movie.
So you liked him in The Waterboy, though.
I did like him in The Waterboy.
You found him likable.
I did find him likable in The Waterboy.
And, again, you can imagine you're a 50-something newspaper critic in the 90s. You've just seen Jim Carrey throwing himself around, doing all sorts of crazy things with his body in a film like Liar, Liar. Then you get this guy.
But you probably didn't like Liar, Liar either as a film critic.
No, but you were probably like, yes, but
the virtuosity.
Jim Carrey is like Chaplin next to this man.
But that's what's funny about him, that he does play it so small in this movie.
Yeah.
It is, again, that peaks and valleys. Is The Waterboy, the joke of him is that he will break out and get angry.
Well, so The Waterboy has basically a very similar premise to Happy Gilmore. It's what if a guy who was not from this sport, really, was not athletic, had this like fluke talent, this very strange talent
that he could get very angry and do a hard tackle.
Yeah, and this one talent could make him a virtuoso. And the big difference is that the Waterboy is a nice guy and Happy Gilmore is not. That is why this movie, I think, made $180 million.
Do you think there were too many edges on Happy Gilmore for people to get behind him?
Well, I think the Waterboy benefited from several years of increased exposure to Adam Sandler. He was building and building and building, and then this movie came along, which is a family comedy, basically.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's an underdog sports movie, a much more earnest underdog sports movie, I think, than Happy Gilmore is. It doesn't have as sharp edges. It doesn't feel like just an SNL spinoff movie.
No, it could have been. But I'm trying to think of.
It's got Kathy Bates. It's got
very funny in the movie.
It's got Henry Winkler. Who's quite charming.
This was kind of a weird second win for Henry Winkler. When you watch the movie, you're like, he's not even doing anything big or comedic. Other than playing a nerd in the film.
People knew him as the Fonz.
Yeah, and the joke here is that he's just a meek little guy. That is the joke of the movie. And this is the kind of movie where the last 15 minutes are dedicated to the final game. They want you to
almost no jokes.
Yeah, there's no jokes really, other than some visual. There's a running gag of people's heads turning into other things.
Right.
So if you think that's funny,
there's a light sprinkling of jokes throughout, where it's when you see his bed sheets that have piss on them. Rob Schneider, you can do it.
So is that a joke? That was so all over the place, and it's existed to the fact that Rob Schneider says you can do it in Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah.
And watching it this time, I'm like, he doesn't even say it that many times. It's not really linked. You know who the real MVP is in this? Clint Howard.
Oh, Clint Howard's very good.
Clint Howard has a speech.
He should have been the Rob Schneider of this world.
Clint Howard has a speech where he's like, some of us are born ugly and dumb. He commits.
But I found Happy Gilmore very easy to watch, you know?
What do you mean,
sorry,
Waterboy?
The Waterboy. I found The Waterboy very easy to
Yes.
watch.
I don't think I'd watch The Waterboy again.
No, well, that's the thing. It's like, I don't think it's as funny as Happy Gilmore or even Billy Madison, frankly. Billy Madison is weird and distinctive.
But I think I would watch The Waterboy before I watch Billy Madison again. Only because,
Really?
yeah.
I disagree, but that's
you know,
fine.
that's why you can't. If we both agreed on the podcast, it would be kind of boring.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Yeah, I found The Waterboy very pleasant, but of the 4 movies we watched, it's the one that I kind of liked the least.
Even though it has one of, I guess Billy Madison is a weirder performance than the one in The Waterboy because there's more consistency in The Waterboy.
Yeah, it's like, in theory, this is a weird performance, but I found myself getting used to the silly voice pretty early on. I found him very likable in this movie.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's move on to Big Daddy. Big hit.
Another huge hit.
A huge hit.
Yeah, and this one...
Dennis Dugan of Happy Gilmore fame is back behind the camera.
And we're really seeing the Adam Sandler rep company like coalesce here.
Steve Buscemi.
You know, people like Frank Coraci, you know, who are his other directors? Is it just Coraci and Dugan?
No, there's like a third and fourth guy, right?
Yeah.
So is Frank Coraci the director of...
Around the World in 80 Days.
Yes. The other guy is the one that yelled at you on Facebook, who directed...
Steve Brill? Is that who
Steve
that was?
Brill. He's a regular Adam Sandler company man.
Yeah.
So he does have his guys that he goes back to again and again. Who directed Click? Is that part of...
that feels like Coraci.
That's a Coraci joy. Coraci has a more cartoonish look to his films. If we're talking about
comparing
editorial
vintages.
time.
Yeah.
You know, more Jerry Lewis-esque, if you will.
So one thing I like about Big Daddy is that it's set in Manhattan and it has a real New York feel to it, which, most of Sandler's movies, especially after this, have a more sort of generic, like suburban, like mise en scène to them. You know, I like a bit of the New York grit in this.
I like how he's a down on his luck guy living in the biggest apartment in New York City.
Well, that's because crucially he got $200,000 in a settlement, and so he's been investing it in the stock market and living as a layabout.
Oh, he also works as a ticket taker at. So he does have a job.
Yes, but as Ebert correctly noted, he seems to have only days off.
Yes,
and he is roommates with Jon Stewart, who is in this film is playing a sort of much more successful guy. He's about to marry his fiancée, played by Leslie Mann, who is also successful, but we keep being told over and over again that he met her at Hooters, and she used to be a Hooters server.
Disgusting.
Which this movie seems to think is sex work.
Yes.
Which also, to be clear, this is a sex work positive podcast. We're also not judging that.
I was not laughing.
No,
I was
no.
stone-faced through. Well, that's the cruelty that you see through the laziest Adam Sandler films that I don't like.
Yeah.
Which is like, look at this large person, or look at this uggo.
Look at this hooer.
Yeah,
is basically what this is saying over and
There's
over
a lot
again.
of that in Grown Ups.
And I thought this movie sort of maintained plausible deniability until the final gag, which brings back the Hooters thing in
it's
a way
like,
that
you work at Hooters? You piece of shit.
yeah, which I didn't like that.
No, I did not like this. So how did
Of all these, this is the only one that really made me laugh when I was watching it by myself.
Really?
When
no
I-
laughs during Happy Gilmore?
I mean, I chuckled a little bit, but it's like, so I'm watching this
Wow.
at home in my home, like to prepare for a podcast. And
so yeah, you can't allow yourself to laugh.
well, I'm just
Because
saying,
then you would lose.
no,
Subjective.
what I'm saying is the conditions are not always the most conducive
Okay.
to full belly laughter.
yeah.
But there were several moments, especially in the first half of Big Daddy, when by gum I laughed.
He's so mean in this movie.
Well,
and I think that's what I bounced off against
I mean,
at the beginning.
when they're throwing
Sticks to just random rollerbladers crash.
When he's the kid's watching the shitty video and then he throws up, I laughed. So yeah, he plays this layabout who, when his roommate, played by Jon Stewart, who's very successful, he's going off to Japan to do the big deal or whatever. As he's just gone off, Jon Stewart's illegitimate son shows up at the door with a note from his mother saying, I can't be his mother anymore. You have to take him. So Adam Sandler's like, don't worry. You go to Japan. I'll take care of this for a little bit. It becomes one man and a baby, basically.
And he decides like, oh, if I adopt him, I will be able to then get back together with my girlfriend who thinks I'm not responsible enough.
Right.
So like, this should be funny. But now as a parent of a child myself, I watched it and was like, wow, this kid's going to be screwed up.
Well, this is another thing that Ebert hated.
I know.
I keep bringing up Ebert just because he's a useful foil for this. It's like he thought he was offended by this movie, it seems.
I mean, I was not offended.
He was like, this slacker layabout character is teaching this child all these horrible lessons. Well, I never.
Yeah. Margaret Dumont.
Most unorthodox, you know. And I found a lot of this movie pretty funny.
Okay. And were you moved by the end of it?
I wouldn't say I was moved, but it's like, well, okay, the courtroom scene at the end is like so silly. It's
but
like,
I think it knows it's silly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's not like, dare we bring up its name again, the courtroom scene in Patch Adams.
You're right. It's very different.
Where in Patch Adams, they should be like, you're going to jail. And what's funny about the courtroom scene in Big Daddy is it ends with the judge being like, yeah, you broke the law. Like, you can't, it doesn't matter what anybody says.
That's really funny.
Yeah. I mean, that is the funniest joke in Billy Madison, undeniably.
Yeah.
It's a speech he gives, and then it's brought up with like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That's good.
We're dumber for having just heard it.
But I also found Adam Sandler funny in this movie, where he's playing one of the kind of hardest versions of his persona, somebody who's like a real piece of shit for most of the movie.
Yeah.
And
at the end, he has a change of heart and becomes a good man.
And and the humor of that, I don't know. Like I like how committed he was to playing the character as basically a piece of shit. And trusting his own inner affability to carry it off.
You know what? I can see it. And I mean, the movie was a huge hit. I remember as a kid, even then I found it too mean. And it was one that I never returned to.
I think it's just on the edge, but I think it stays on the right side. That's
like when he's tripping random rollerbladers.
You're laughing. I'm laughing.
I'm laughing that it exists. In the moment, I was like pointing it to my son. I was like, you don't do this.
Wow. If you ever need me to babysit your son, him and I can have...
You're just going to turn on Big Daddy?
Yeah, we'll have fun.
What stayed with me as a kid was the kid spitting and sucking it back up. I vividly remember that as a kid.
So I remember that, and I also remembered him just eating ketchup.
Oh, yeah,
because
you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
What were they watching? Oh, they were watching Young Frankenstein.
That's right.
All I thought was like, well, don't make the kid watch Young Frankenstein. Like,
I mean, look, Adam Sandler's a Gen X guy.
That's going to be his movie. Yeah. I mean, Young Frankenstein, very funny movie. The kid was 5 years old, but you know what? Maybe my kid will be the biggest Mel Brooks fan when he grows up.
Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he will have access to many more movies for that to be the...
Do kids like Mel Brooks now? Probably not. Spaceballs?
Yeah. Spaceballs is funny.
Spaceballs might actually be Mel Brooks' funniest movie.
I mean, hey, he's still got Spaceballs 2 in him.
I don't think he's going to have much to do with that.
Well, no, he says he's playing yogurt again.
Yeah, sure. They'll prop him up.
100-year-old Mel Brooks. I think he's like 99 years old or something like that.
I'm glad he's alive.
So watching all these pre-90s movies, I think it was not a shock why they were so successful. Like it's all there.
Yeah, it was fun to me to see some of the elements come together. I would say he came together much quicker than a lot of comedians do. But yeah, seeing the subtle variations in the Adam Sandler persona and seeing them really come together by the end, by Waterboy and Big Daddy, was interesting and instructive.
And from here, he never made another bad movie because he had figured it out.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen most of them.
So we got to explore. Blended. Wait, what are some other murder mystery? 1, 2.
I have seen Murder Mystery.
I haven't seen Murder Mystery, which is really funny that I'm like, yes, Adam Sandler, so affable, so lovable. And then I'm like, I ain't watching those. No, thank you.
They're for the people who like them.
Yeah. You know what? They're for the people. And we just don't understand. I think it was what it comes down to. Do not send us letters about how I didn't get Billy Madison. I get it.
If you have letters, send them to Justin, because I had a pretty good time watching all 4 of these films. All 4 of them I derived moderate amusement from.
Will is a man of the people. So, as per usual...
So many soft 3 stars from me on this episode.
As per usual, you can send us letters at importantcinemaclubpodcast@gmail.com. Our first letter is from Francis, and he asks, hey guys, have you guys ever done an episode on Canadian God Ted Kotcheff? Couldn't find anything and figured his filmography, especially with the greatest Australian film, Wake and Fright, would be worthy of a solid episode. With love and gratitude, Francis.
We have not talked about Ted Kotcheff, although I think you will agree that Weekend at Bernie's is one of the finest films ever made.
I love Weekend at Bernie's. I unironically.
Rambo First Blood, also obviously quite good.
Wake and Fright is the one that people bring up all the time.
And, you know, his work on one of Charles Bronson's last films, Family of Cops, I think is worth investigating. But just naming those titles, it's an interesting career, clearly. And we do have national pride in Ted Kotcheff. If I'm a little bit, I hear him brought up occasionally. But I hear him brought up in the context of like, he's the kind of guy that like, I'm not saying this is the case, but you'd see like at TIFF, you'd be like, oh, it's the Ted Kotcheff cinema or something like that. That's where you would hear him brought up.
I mean, he did The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz. The first version of Fun was Dick and Jane.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like, let's be honest, the lesser Norman Jewison, if we will.
What I would like to hear is like, what's the case for the Ted Kotcheff episode? I'm not saying he's bad.
Wow, he did multiple Mordecai Richler adaptations. I think it's because he also knew Mordecai Richler. They were roommates together.
Wake and Fright, obviously a classic.
Yeah, undeniable. Ooh, he did a Dolph Lundgren film, The Shooter.
But I don't know. He's the kind of journeyman director who I think is kind of hard for me to think of things to say about. But I'm open to the idea.
Billy Two Hats, he directed a Gregory Peck movie produced by Norman Jewison. They're all in it together at the end of it. But you know what? I'll add it to the list. Just a reason to watch movies that don't exist, like Switching Channels, Kathleen Turner and Burt Reynolds and Christopher Reeves together at last.
Yeah.
Never heard of this movie. Have you?
No.
Or a movie called Folks, the Rob Ford story.
Oh,
no.
Wait, is that the one with Roger Moore?
Tom Selleck, Ann Jackson. Let me look here. Michael Murphy. No Roger Moore.
I'm thinking of a different Folks. Folks with like several laughs.
So thank you very much for the letter. I will dust off the biography that I have of him that has like a director's chair on the cover and give it a read just for that episode.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that around.
Yeah, at every remaindered book place that you can find. Our next letter is from Magic. He goes, "Hey, Justin and Will. I've been enjoying listening to the podcast."
I don't believe in magic.
Do you believe in magic? Will says no. "I've been enjoying listening to the podcast a lot lately, and I've particularly enjoyed the episodes focused on comedians, comedy actors. A series of yours that I enjoy is the Big Screen Comedian Failures episode.
Wow, we enjoy that too.
I'm sure you have many more ideas of what you like to do with this little series." Oh, I just had a great idea. Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern together in one episode.
Oh, so like Bushwhacked and 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag.
Well, no, that's for our Tarantino exploitation one.
Oh, right.
Going Fishing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you have many more ideas you like to do with the little series, but I will also like to add a suggestion of my own, and that is British comedians failing to conquer Hollywood. You, of course, have Rick Mayall in Drop Dead Fred, Norman Wisdom in The Night They Raided Minsky's, a very early William Friedkin film, Michael Crawford in Condor Men, Lenny Henry in True Identity, Lee Evans in Mouse Hunt.
Wow, so many. Well, to say nothing of like big cases like Ricky Gervais and Simon Pegg.
Wow.
Simon Pegg.
Ricky Gervais was a winner in my book in David Koepp's Ghost Town.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
That's right. Ghost Town.
Saw it theatrically.
Exactly. Yeah, I also saw it theatrically.
Richard Ayoade in The Watch, and I'm sorry to mention this monster of a man. Who do you think it is?
Ricky Gervais.
No. You're British, became an actor in Hollywood, monster of a man now.
It's not.
It starts with an R. I'm going to say it, and you'd be like, how could I not remember
Who
that?
is it?
Russell Brand.
Oh, how could I not remember that?
You don't think about Russell Brand very often anymore.
No. He kind of did conquer Hollywood for a little bit, right?
I mean, he got us to the Greek.
Yeah.
or he was being get to the Greek and in 2011's Arthur remake.
Oh yeah, who could forget that?
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Remember who co-starred in that? Greta
Gerwig. Yeah. Thank God they finally fixed Arthur.
I'm sure there are more examples. What do we think of Arthur? We did a Patreon episode on that.
It's not that great.
Okay. I'm sure there are more examples.
Dudley Moore is arguably an example because he had 2 hits.
Yes.
And then
Arthur.
and 10.
Okay.
And then a decade of flops.
He kept making movies though. But I do think this would make for an interesting discussion. All right. So we don't have, these are great suggestions. I love it. But we do have a themed month of episodes coming up. We're not going to tell you who we're picking, but I can tell you what the theme will be.
So we're going to talk about comedians who were really famous in their home country who didn't quite travel to North America. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we got 4 of them. I will say, I think on the list, Norman Wisdom is there. Because he's kind of an enigma. Coming up soon, and probably an episode or 2, a whole month of international comedy.
Can't wait.
Thank you very much for the letter, Magic, and I hope that when we finally do it, it lives up to your expectations. A lot of good suggestions there. The only thing, I guess you don't need to do more than one movie to be a big screen comedian failure, because we did do with Rocket Man.
Yeah, Rocket Man was one of them. Was that tied to any particular theme, or was that?
I think it was just a bunch. Oh, that was Canadian big screen comedian failures.
That's right.
That's where it came into it. Did we like Rocket Man? I don't remember. I guess I have to listen to the episode to find out.
Well, before we say what we're doing next week, I will just once again put in a quick plug for a couple of events that I'm doing in the United States. Again, Saturday, August 30th at 3 p.m., I will be signing my hit book, Ed Wood Made in Hollywood, USA, at Art Book Hauser and Wirth, LA, with special guest Dana Gould, who will be doing a
Will just point.
conversation.
Will held his hand out as if I was going to be there.
And then later that night, I'm going to show a couple of Ed Wood movies on VHS at Whammy. Please get your ticket in advance. Actually, please RSVP for both these things in advance.
What the hell? The New Beverly's not giving you a ring, too, to play some Ed Wood on film?
I know. Although the next day in Chicago, Illinois, I will be at the Davis Theater to show a mystery movie with the boys from the Oscar Bait Film Collective. We're showing a mystery Hong Kong film, and it's going to be, I told Justin what it was.
Great movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
So that's on August 31st. So please come out and see me. Mm-hmm. Come out, and if you have presents, I'll take them, you know.
Will, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, if you're Mark David Chapman.
No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. All right, so if you're in the area and you don't come and see him at that, you're a fool. A fool.
I mean, I'm probably not going to be back.
No.
Certainly not like this.
It feels like you go to LA every 3 months, though. When's the last time you went?
I did go earlier this year,
Okay.
and here, no, look, here's the thing. I'm not going to be probably doing an event like this in LA.
No. Why would you?
I might go back to LA, but you won't be seeing me.
I hope that you become like the raised eyebrow guys. It's like, we're doing an Ed Wood screening. Here's Will Sloan.
That's such a deep cut reference.
Hello, everyone.
It's a reference to Steve Stoliar, Groucho Marx's personal secretary in his latter days.
Yes. But he still keeps, they keep bringing him out.
Yeah, they do. They do, you know?
So maybe you'll become the Ed Wood. Who is the Ed Wood guy right now?
Well, there's Rudolph Gray.
But
he doesn't get out that much.
No, he doesn't get out very much. But other than that,
I guess it's me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think we mentioned that very sadly, one of the Ed Wood guys passed away.
Oh, Greg Javert, who him and Joe Blevins did that blog, Ed Wood Wednesdays. And Greg he did pass away, and he was like, I mean, he knows so much more about Ed Wood than me, frankly. Mm-hmm. He was really getting into the weeds of like, he could analyze on the pornographic loops that Ed Wood made, like the text, and be like, oh, that's Ed Wood. You can tell Ed Wood because of this word, because of this phrase.
And we basically learned that he passed away because he wasn't replying to emails about writing the booklet for.
He was gonna do a booklet for our Revenge of the Dead Blu-ray release through Golden Ninja Video, but unfortunately he ghosted us, and we found out it's because he was dying, which is too bad.
Yeah.
Well, obviously,
and now he passed away. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was a great guy, great scholar. Miss him.
So where is Rudolph Gray these days? Is he still around? Did he ever write anything else? Like,
no,
what does he do?
I don't think. Well, he did music. He was in a couple bands. He still lives in New York, as I understand, but I think he's a little bit reclusive. I don't think he really. He's not like in the fan community. Sometimes you'll see him like in documentaries.
He's done commentaries.
With Frank Henenlotter.
So
who is, I think, the Rudolph Gray whisperer,
Okay. Where's our Roberta Findlay book? I don't
know. I'd love that.
Which Frank Henenlotter said 6-7 years ago he was working on, I think.
Hope we get it
one day. I believe they said it was going to be structured like Nightmare on Ecstasy as well. That it was like an oral history kind of thing. All right. So next week, we are jumping off what a letter writer recommended, actually.
So it can happen, folks. It can happen. All of you recommend stuff for us to do, and we got one where we were like, okay, let's actually do that.
So it's the same thing with Letterboxd follows for me. If you want me to follow you on Letterboxd, you have to write great movie reviews for films that interest me that nobody else has written about. It's not that hard.
Right.
I looked at recently I followed like 5 people in the last 5 years on Letterboxd. That's pretty much it.
Justin just doesn't care about people.
Nope, I don't.
He's not here to make friends.
I am not a people person like Will Sloan.
I'm not much of a people person, honestly. But
hey, you're a social animal compared to me.
That's probably true.
Yeah, it is. So we are going to be talking about
Anne Charlotte Robertson. She was a filmmaker, an experimental filmmaker who made mostly 8mm short films about her life. She would be classified as an experimental filmmaker. She was quite reclusive when she was alive. She lived from 1949 to 2012. For the most part, I don't know how publicly available her work was. Frankly, I don't know a lot about her. Her big achievement was The 5-Year Diary, which was a 36-hour film about her life. But it was, of course, divided into many parts. it's obviously not completely available to the public. Some of it has been uploaded to places.
We'll watch some of it, but even what's uploaded is too daunting to watch in its entirety.
I think most people have not seen
all
of
hours.
it. But she does have fans, and I'm very interested in finding out just what the deal is. So, yeah, Anne Charlotte Robertson.
I'm glad that we can still coast on, like, what other podcast would talk about Hulk Hogan and then Anne Charlotte Robertson? That was last week. This week, it's what podcast would talk about Adam Sandler, then Anne Charlotte Robertson? So, you get both of them. That's a twofer for that. So I'm really excited. I'd never heard about her before the letter writer last week sent us an email. So
lots of people I trust and respect seem to be big fans. So I'm looking forward to this.
So that's what we're going to be doing next week. Until then, my name's Justin Decloux.
I'm Will Sloan.
Thanks for listening. Justin here, interrupting briefly to let you know that I now have a newsletter. Oh no, a newsletter? I don't need another one, you may be screaming. Well, if that is the case, this is not for you. This is for the people who enjoy the things that I do, and maybe they listen to the Important Cinema Club podcast, or Bay Street Video podcast, or the Very Fine Comic Book podcast, and they're like, I love everything Justin does, but I also want to know how his movie making is going, because he's getting back into that, maybe some personal blog-like thoughts, as well as documentation of everything that he's been doing since the last newsletter. Well, you can find that all in one easy to subscribe to place that will go right to your mailbox. Just check out justindecloux.ghost.io, and that is DECLOUX, my last name, justindecloux.ghost.io, and you will get a semi-weekly newsletter with updates about everything that I've been doing, everything that I'm probably about to do, what's going through my mind, and maybe even too much information about me. And again, if you're not a fan of me, you prefer that Will guy, you don't need to subscribe to my newsletter. Will has one too. Go and check that one out. And if you like both of us, why not subscribe to both? And as per usual, I would like to thank some of our new Patreon subscribers, who include Spembo, Ediardologist, Luke, Max Pittman, Michael Heisler, Scott Wilson, Marcus Eklund, Callum Milne, Nicholas Christensen, Lorenzo, Roy Tanner, David Greiton, and OK Neat. Thank you very much for becoming patrons. We could not keep doing this without you. I think it's clear that nepotism, not good when it comes to the creative fields.
Not necessarily. I mean,
sometimes it's good. Like, look at all of India's stars.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Is Jean Renoir a nepo baby?
Fucking yeah, he is. Yeah. That's why I don't watch his movies and don't put anything into them.
I think.
Well, this is just a transition point for me to get to my next thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
What is good is when you put a loved one into a film.
Oh, like Adam Sandler with his daughter, Jackie.
This has never gone wrong. Or like Jeff Bezos.
Oh,
that's what I'm getting
now we're talking.
Yep.
So, yeah, do you have the article in front of you? Or it's this was getting shared in our sort of circles recently. According to, I think it was Hello Magazine, or maybe it was OK Magazine. It was one of those kind of vapid celebrity mags. Jeff Bezos, who just married the love of his life,
Lauren Sanchez,
had a beautiful star-studded $1 trillion wedding that you paid for with your fucking Prime purchases. You paid for it.
Yeah, Will doesn't have a Prime membership, right, Will?
Oh, yeah, I do.
So the rumor is that he's going to get his wife a role in the new James Bond movie.
And this is what it's all about. So, I mean,
funny.
My Twitter feed was a sea of references to Citizen Kane.
Yeah, photos, videos.
Kane builds Opera House,
you know? Exactly.
And it's just so funny.
It's so funny.
I want this to be true.
I hope that she's like the main star of the movie with whoever James Bond is. And she's like, what do you think, Mr. Bond?
Yeah, this is so great. And you know,
what if Jeff Bezos cast himself as James Bond?
He should. Why not? He owns it.
Who's gonna stop him?
This is what I would do if I were a fucking 900 billionaire, like some insane thing like that. It's like he already got the Broccoli family out of the picture, so
out of spite.
Yeah, he controls James Bond now. He can do whatever he wants with it, and I think he should. I think he should, because I don't care about James Bond.
I don't care about James Bond either.
He should piss on this property. He could shit on it. He can do any crazy thing. He should make
a property that up to now has been prestige.
That's right. He should make it so that James Bond has 27 dicks.
It's just James Bond having sex for 2.5 hours.
And it's him.
It's him. And every woman is like, that was the greatest sex I've ever had.
And
now,
after every sex scene, you hear the music. Da 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 da.
And then the door opens and it's like, delivery.
Yeah. It's like, yes, it's my martini, shaken not stirred, direct from Amazon.
Oh wait, yeah, because people were
Have
sharing.
you seen War of the Worlds?
I haven't seen the movie.
It's so bad.
I saw that clip
It's
of
the future of delivery.
drone delivery.
Yeah, so good.
So okay, let's talk about Amazon though as a like media giant making movies, like putting stuff out in the world.
So what movies do you associate with Amazon? What are their
The only thing I associate is the amazing miniseries Jean-Claude Van Johnson, where Jean-Claude Van Damme plays himself.
Right.
And the director said Amazon had no idea what they were doing at the time. They're just like, just do whatever you want.
It was kind of like that with Netflix at the beginning, because Netflix was doing things like, Spike Lee's Chirac.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing The Other Side of the Wind.
I don't think Netflix was Chirac.
Or was that Amazon?
I think that was Amazon.
Okay,
yeah.
well, anyway, it's typical of there was the first couple of years of these streaming giants getting into film were kind of fun because they were getting these sort of, established filmmakers who couldn't get financing.
Yeah.
And
then they were like, but we like money.
they were like,
more.
okay, now that we've done this, we don't need this anymore.
Or like they got some critical accolades and they're like, but that doesn't make me feel better. So I should do the opposite thing and that'll help, right?
Yeah.
Remember that article Netflix is like, we just go on vibes, man.
Yeah.
Like if we don't like something, we cancel it.
Yeah, I mean, clearly. Mm-hmm. But aren't they also like the super data people? Like the people
They're super data as well. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. None of that data is shared.
I guess Apple is the only one that's had some movies I can name.
But Apple is also one that loses money. I mean, they all lose money hand over fist. But like Apple famously.
It was funny reading about F1, which is Apple's like biggest movie yet. And
Oh.
I remember, when F1 opened, I remember reading a lot of like box office analysis that's like, F1 cost $350 million, but it's Apple, so it doesn't need to meet the same like profitability as other movies do. And I'm reading that like, it doesn't?
Yeah, because money doesn't matter.
Money doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as you are perceived in value, then your stocks are up. If you're a publicly traded company.
And to that I say, President Xi, drop the nukes. Do it right now.
You want those sweet, sweet electric cars that they got going around there.
That's right.
But yeah, so I hope Jeff Bezos, could he make a movie that he stars in? Wouldn't that rule so much?
I'd love to see him try.
And he pays like some big famous filmmaker.
Burns for all seasons.
Could he get like Martin Scorsese? He's in his Jesus movie. And
Martin
he's playing
Scorsese
Jesus.
is a non-union Mexican equivalent directing.
I love vanity projects of rich people putting themselves in movies where they're supposed to be cool.
Frank D'Angelo.
The
greatest of all time.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, he had rich mindset.
Yeah, he did. The grind set, if you will.
Yeah.
He had rich friends who needed to launder some money, so they would give it to Frank.
Are there other examples like big rich vanity like Get Even?
Yeah, I mean, how rich was that guy is the question.
I don't know, but it definitely has like rich guy energy.
That movie that we watched, that Pierce Brosnan, did it take place in like Saudi Arabia?
Oh, that Rennie Harlan directed it.
And there's a guy that's like the co-star. That's the rich guy who paid for the movie.
That's right. What's that movie called? The Misfits.
The Misfits, yeah.
I love that movie, for two reasons. One, Brosnan at his hammiest.
Oh, he has never been hammier.
Chewing scenery. Secondly, the completely uncharismatic guy next to him, who you're watching it and you're like, who is this guy?
And you look, and if you want to know if the guy is like a rich vanity guy, does he have a 10,000 word IMDb that describes all of the things that's like, anyone best actor at the LA National Circle Convention? And you're like, what is that?
Yeah, and his IMDb bio probably begins like, dreamer, entrepreneur, change maker. They said it couldn't be done, but one beverage mogul from Tel Aviv insists that it can.
I'm shocked we haven't done a vanity project episode.
Oh,
where we just
put it on the list.
Was it not Riverdance or something like that?
Michael Flatley.
Yeah, he made a movie as well. He played a cool James Bond guy.
Oh yeah. And what's the vanity project that? Okay, I can't remember who made it, but it had special guest star Martin Sheen in it. You know the one I'm talking about.
No, I don't
right?
know. Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Put some music here. Okay, I have the film. It's called A Letter from Death Row.
Oh, that's a classic.
It's directed by and written by
Bret Michaels.
Yes.
We did that on the No Such Thing as a Bad Movie very early on.
Yes.
Very serious film as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder, is Strangeland, the one with the Twisted Sister guy, is the killer in it? Is that a vanity project? Or do we just get cast in it?
Or what about that movie that came out earlier this year by The Weeknd? Do you remember hearing about that?
Oh, I don't think it was the movie. Wasn't it a TV show?
No, you're thinking of The Idol. The movie's called Hurry Up Tomorrow.
Who made it? Did he direct it?
He didn't direct it, but I believe it was widely interpreted as a Weeknd vanity project. And Jenna Ortega's in it. I didn't see it, but I think that could probably be on the list too.
I mean, we'll get into the vanity, factors, but I think an important part of it is the main character has to be portrayed as cool or a good guy in a vanity project.
That
is very important.
I mean, On Deadly Ground. I mean, does it count if the guy was a movie star already? That's a vanity project.
That is absolutely a vanity project.
Yeah.
Oh, how have we never done the guy who did Deadly Lessons? I love that guy. I don't think you've ever seen his movies.
Oh, is that
Stuart
the
Paul?
John Voight is
Yeah,
in them.
yeah. He did a whole bunch of really funny vanity projects like Emanon, which, if you read Emanon backwards, no name, that literally ends with him being crucified. And unironically, his hobo chic look is picked up by a fashion designer. And it's like, this is going to be the new look of the summer. He is the brother of the guy who owns like Echo Bridge and is super rich. So he gets to make his own vanity project. He's been doing it since the 80s too. So I have a bunch of his films on Laserdisc that at the time of picking them up, they were completely unavailable. But yeah, vanity project coming up after we do our International Comedians Month.